I was unwinding last night on Boxing Day after watching Liverpool beat Aston Villa 3-1 away from home at Villa Park. The Reds were back, the Premier League was back, and things couldn't go much better, is what I thought, until Paul Joyce tweeted that Liverpool were interested in signing Cody Gakpo. And here's the tweet from Paul Joyce himself. Liverpool want Cody Gakpo and discussions with PSV Eindhoven are advanced. Now this came out of nowhere. Liverpool were rumoured to be interested in Cody Gakpo, but nothing was concrete. At that moment in time, Man United were the front runners, and it was apparent that he was Erik ten Hag's number one transfer target for this January transfer window. And then an hour later, roughly about that time, PSV tweet, PSV and Liverpool Football Club have reached an agreement on the proposed transfer of Cody Gakpo. The 23-year-old attacker will leave for England imminently, where he will be subjected to the necessary formalities ahead of the completion of the transfer. Now at this moment in time, mind blown. This basically confirmed that Liverpool were going to sign Cody Gakpo and sneak in under Man United's nose. But if you're in any doubt, Fabrizio Romano about 20 minutes later last night tweeted, Liverpool have signed Cody Gakpo from PSV Eindhoven. The deal has been signed between the clubs. Gakpo will sign a long-term deal later this week as contract is fully agreed to. Liverpool paid £37 million plus add-ons up to £50 million potential package. Now first things first, I just want to say, how good did this man look in a Liverpool top? Look at that. That is one sexy human being. And then later that night, Fabrizio Romano tweeted again, Cody Gakpo has agreed a 6-year deal with Liverpool, same as Darwin Núñez last summer. All clauses have been approved. Guaranteed fee £37 million. And this is just another example of our transfer team doing an amazing job, signing a young, potentially world-class player for such a bargain fee in my opinion. He was obviously looking to move last summer. It didn't quite materialise for him. He's cracked down and he's had an amazing World Cup as well with the Netherlands. The team didn't do quite well, but he definitely shone out. And £37 million, it's definitely, for this market today, it's definitely a bargain of a fee. So who is Cody Gakpo, in case you're wondering and you didn't know yourself? So this is from FB Ref. I will leave a link to their website in the description below. It's an amazing website I use for a lot of my stats. So he's a right-footed forward Dutch player. He is 23 years of age. He's going to be 24 by the end of the season. He plays predominantly on the left-hand side, although he has played in the central a bit, and he can play on the right, but that's not his preferred position. So if you scroll down here, we can see his stats for the last few seasons as well. And here, now that we scroll down, we can see his stats for last season and the season so far. So in 2021-2022 season, he played 27 times for PSV Eindhoven. 22 of those were starts. He played a total of 1,905 minutes, which is actually quite important to note, considering we've definitely had some issues with Jota and Diaz being injured at the moment. So he plays a healthy amount of minutes. Over the course of those 27 matches he played, he scored 12 times and assisted 12 times as well. His XG was 9.7 for goals, so he's exceeded that. And his assists were 8.9, so he exceeded that as well. And so far this season, he's played 14 times. He started all 14 times. Already played 1,122 minutes, which means he's going to, at this moment in time, he's going to exceed what he played last season. He's already scored 9 goals and already had 12 assists. And that is expected goals of 6.3, again exceeding, and expected assists of 6.8. Again, he's exceeding that as well. So it just goes to show that he's a very talented footballer who can score goals, loves to assist as well, and then he's the complete package actually. Now we're on Info Goal. Again, I will leave a link to the website in the description below. He played a total of 5 times for the Netherlands in the World Cup. He started all 5 of those times. He played a total of 490 minutes. Minutes per match was 98. Obviously, if you include the extra time that was in the World Cup, there was a lot of extra time. His average rating was 6.88, which I still think is good. It's not great, but it was good considering the team he was playing in. He scored 3 goals. His expected goals was 0.62, so he far exceeded that. And actually, although this is quite good and I'm spinning it in a positive way, Darwin Núñez was actually another example of someone who far exceeded his goals last season. And this season, he's perceived to be struggling. I know he's getting into those chances and he's scoring a lot of goals, and he could be scoring more if he's a bit more clinical. So he might be a very similar player to Darwin Núñez in the fact that he's maybe a bit raw, especially coming from the Dutch league. Obviously, it's not as competitive as the Premier League is, not as physical either. So he hasn't played for PSV since before the World Cup on the 12th of November when they lost 1-0 to AZ Alkmaar. So he's been well rested. He hasn't played a game since the World Cup, and the Netherlands went out a while ago. So he should be fit, training, ready to go basically for Liverpool. And my first initial thoughts were, it's quite positive actually. It's nice to see that we're planning for the future. And I think it's directly linked to Roberto Firmino's future as well. And it's actually quite sad because his contract is obviously up in the summer and he's going to go for free. And it looks like, now that we're signing Gakpo, that that's basically confirmed. I really would have liked to seen him stay, maybe sign on a 1 or 2 year deal extra, and maybe reduce his wages if he was happy to do so and wanted to stay at the club. However, it looks like that's not going to be the case. And it's a case of we're forward planning, I think, in this case. And it reminds me a lot of the DS transfer last year. We signed him, and I think he was meant to be the direct Mane replacement. And I know Nunes kind of got that a lot because of his price tag as well. But I think Diaz was the replacement. We brought him in early. He hit the ground running, thankfully. Thankfully for us, we had an amazing season. Well, end to that season at least. And it's a case of, I like to see this kind of transfer. I like to see a player come in. They can get used to the league and the culture and the city. Learn how we learn to play. And then hopefully by the time Firmino leaves in the summer, if he is going to do so, then Gakpo will be ready to take his place in the squad as he's already settled in. And I think it's one of those where fans are really excited because it shows forward planning. And I think that's what we've been lacking with our midfield transfers actually. Obviously, this might hinder us signing a midfielder in January. I didn't think it was likely anyway. Apparently we're linked to Enzo Fernandez, but honestly I don't think we're going to sign him in January at least. I think it might be something more in the summer. Bellingham, of course, is the name that every football fan wants for their club who can afford him. He's going to cost a lot of money, especially after the World Cup. He was definitely England's best player in my opinion. But I think we're going to have to wait and see for that one in the summer as well. I don't expect us to sign anyone else, and I don't think this money for Gakpo is going to be taken out of the money for the midfield. I think this was always the plan as well, and it's nice to see us bringing a player in. I know when the news came out that FSG were looking to sell fully or part of the club, that there was a bit of concern that maybe we're not going to buy anyone, we're not going to invest in the team or the squad or the facilities around the club until they're gone. However, the fact that they're signing Gakpo, maybe they'll sign someone in the summer if they're still here. It shows that they're still willing to spend money, still willing to invest in their investment, well, our football club. And most importantly, it was a player that Jurgen Klopp wanted. He said he wanted Gakpo, and we've gone out and got him. So you can't really complain. But what do you guys think? I think it's a great transfer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.